The stars looked cold and empty through the window of Earth's last big ship. Commander Juan sat in his chair, looking at the enemy ships in the distance. His tired face showed the weight of 15 years of war. For 15 years, humans had been losing to the aliens called Voxuri. "Sir, the enemy ships are coming closer," said Officer Jin. His voice was calm even though he was scared. "There are many of them." Juan nodded. The aliens had 30 ships for every one human ship. The Voxuri had better weapons, more ships, and never seemed to run out of supplies. But they did not understand humans. "How many ships do we have left?" Juan asked, though he already knew the answer. 23 working ships, sir. 2 are damaged, but can still fight." 23 ships against almost 700. The Voxuri had nearly wiped out all humans. Earth was only protected by what was left of its defense systems. Human colonies on other planets had been destroyed one by one. Billions of people were dead. Juan closed his eyes for a moment. He thought about his hometown before it was burned in the first attack. He thought about his wife, son, and daughter Jin, hiding in shelters on Mars, if Mars was still there. "Sir, we got a message from Dr. Yun on Research Station Omega," said Communications Officer Han. "She says she found something strange about the Voxuri." Juan was surprised. Dr. Yun was smart but odd. She had been studying how the Voxuri talk and the things they made for years, looking for any weakness in these powerful enemies. "Let me talk to her," said Juan. The screen lit up, showing Dr. Yun's tired face. Her eyes were bright with excitement despite looking very tired. "Commander, I found it," she said right away. "The way to end this war. We're about to lose our last ships, Doctor. I hope you have more than just ideas. The Voxuri talk using sound patterns. We knew that. But what we didn't know is that their bodies, their whole nervous system, responds to certain sound frequencies. They don't just hear sound. They feel it, live it. It's part of how their bodies work." Juan frowned. "How does that help us?" "I studied thousands of hours of their messages. There are patterns, math patterns that keep showing up. I think these are more than just language. They're basic to how they think. And I found a pattern, a song really, that could change how their brains work. Not kill them, but change them. A song." Jin laughed. "We're going to beat an alien fleet with music." Dr. Yun smiled. "Not just any music. I need to use the main broadcasting system. And I need your best sound person." "That would be our communications expert," said Han. "She's very good with music too." Juan looked at the screen showing the Voxuri fleet. They were moving in their usual way, exact, planned, unstoppable. In 3 hours, they would be close enough to attack Earth's remaining defenses. "What exactly are you suggesting, Doctor?" Juan asked. "The Voxuri never understood why we keep fighting when we're clearly losing. They don't understand human feelings, human toughness. This pattern I found. It explains these ideas in a way their bodies can understand. It might not beat them in battle, but it could make them understand us. And if they understand us, they might stop trying to kill us all." Juan finished. It was a desperate plan. Maybe even a silly one. But they had tried everything else. "Han, find MI and bring her to the command center. Jin, get ready to work with Research Station Omega." Juan fixed his uniform. "If we're going to die today, we might as well try something new first." For the first time in years, Juan felt a little hope. It wasn't much, just a small light in the darkness of space. But sometimes a small light was all you needed to find your way home. Emmy never thought she would use her music skills in a war. As the enemy ships came closer to Earth, she found herself in the command center, working with Dr. Yun through a video link to make something new. A sound weapon that was not meant to destroy. "These sound patterns are like nothing I've ever seen," Mai said, looking at the complex waves Dr. Yun had sent. "Are you sure this will work on them?" Dr. Yun nodded from the screen. "We've seen these patterns in their messages many times. Their ships make similar sounds when they move in certain ways. It's part of everything they do." Mi's fingers moved quickly across her control panel, mixing the strange alien math patterns with something human. She had been a piano player before the war, before music seemed like something people couldn't afford anymore. "What am I really making here?" Mi asked as she worked. "Something they can understand," said Dr. Yun. "Their language has no words for peace or working together, only winning or losing. But music goes beyond words. We're building a bridge between our minds and theirs." Commander Wan watched quietly from behind them. The fate of all humans rested on his shoulders. "How long will this take?" he finally asked. "The Voxari will be close enough to attack in less than 2 hours." "We're working as fast as we can, sir," Mi said, not looking up. "But it must be perfect. One wrong note could make it nonsense, or worse, could sound like a threat to them." The command center was busy with tense activity. Officers moved between stations with grim faces, getting ready for what might be humanity's last fight. Outside the windows, Earth glowed blue and green, still beautiful despite the scars of war visible on its surface. "We're getting a message from the Voxari fleet," Han announced suddenly. Wan's face grew dark. "Show it on screen." The main screen showed a Voxari commander. The aliens looked like tall, thin, human-shaped beings with shiny skin that changed colors as they spoke. Their faces had no clear features except for parts that sensed vibrations where humans would have ears. "Last warning, humans," the Voxari said, its translator turning its vibrations into flat, empty speech. "Give up your home world and remaining colonies for us to take over. If you resist, we will destroy your planet." Mi shivered at the coldness in the alien's voice. The Voxari never showed feelings because they didn't have them like humans did. They understood the world through vibration and math. "We need more time," Wan said quietly to Mi before speaking to the alien. "We ask for a short break to talk about surrender terms. 6 hours to speak with what's left of our government." The Voxari commander's skin rippled with dark blue and purple colors, colors that showed the alien was suspicious. "You have tried to trick us before. You will get 2 hours. Any fighting will cause immediate attack." The message ended. 2 hours, Wan said, turning to Mi and Dr. Yun's image. "Can you finish it in time?" Mi took a deep breath. "I need to put human feelings into these alien sound patterns. It's like writing music in a language I'm just learning." "If anyone can do it, you can," said Dr. Yun kindly. "You understand music better than most people. That's why we need you." Mi looked at her hands. Piano player hands now trying to save her species. She thought of her family, of the parks where she used to play music, of the simple joy of playing notes perfectly. "I need recordings," she said suddenly. "Human voices, people laughing, crying, singing, children playing, everything that makes us human." Wan nodded. "Jin, get her whatever she needs." As the others rushed to help, Mi began making music in earnest, weaving together alien math and human feeling. What she made was strange but beautiful, harsh sounds turning into unexpected harmony. "It's working," Dr. Yun whispered as the music took shape. "This is what I've been looking for." With less than 2 hours until the Voxari's deadline, Mi put her heart into the music. If this was to be humanity's last message to the universe, she would make it beautiful. Research Station Omega hung in space like a delicate silver spider, orbiting the gas giant Titan. It was here, isolated from Earth for safety, that Dr. Yunji Park had spent 5 years studying the Voxari. Now, as she collaborated with Ensign Myra Song, she felt both exhilaration and terror. "The fundamental problem has always been communication," Dr. Park explained to Commander Tawan as Mirai continued composing. "We've been exchanging words, but not understanding." On her end of the holographic link, Dr. Park pulled up images and recordings of the Voxari. "Look at their physiology. No eyes as we understand them. Their entire body is essentially one large ear, sensing vibrations through space." "But we've been talking to them for years," objected Lieutenant Dajun. "Our translation systems work." Dr. Park shook her head. We translate words, yes, but the Voxeri experience reality as mathematical patterns of sound. They don't understand concepts like mercy or coexistence because these ideas don't translate into their vibrational language. She pulled up more data, complex waveforms captured from Voxeri ships during rare peaceful encounters early in the war. When they first approached our colonies, they were curious, not hostile. She continued. Something in our response triggered their aggression. I believe it was our emotional inconsistency. Our vibrations didn't follow their mathematical rules. Myre looked up from her work. So they've been trying to eliminate us because we sound chaotic to them. Precisely, Dr. Park said. To them, we're discordant noise in an ordered universe. They don't hate us. They simply can't comprehend us. And what they can't comprehend, they eliminate. Commander Taiwan paced the command center. And you believe this. Composition will make them understand us. It's our best hope. Dr. Park replied. Mayraid is creating something revolutionary, a piece that follows Voxeri mathematical principles while incorporating human emotional patterns. If we broadcast this across all frequencies, directly at their fleet, they might finally hear us. Mayray finished softly. A young officer approached with a data chip. Sir, we've compiled the recordings Ensign Song requested. Voice samples from remaining human settlements, historical archives, music from Earth's cultures. Mayray accepted it gratefully and began integrating these sounds into her composition. Children laughing, old men telling stories, rainfall, heartbeats, the sounds of humanity woven into alien mathematical sequences. On Research Station Omega, Dr. Park continued her explanation. The Voxeri communicate not just through sound, but through resonance. Their ships, their weapons, their very bodies operate on principles of harmonic vibration. She displayed a simulation showing how Voxeri ships moved in formation, a dance of mathematical precision. If we disrupt that harmony with our broadcast, began Daejung. Not disrupt, corrected Dr. Park. Transform. We're not trying to destroy them, Lieutenant. We're trying to reach them. The holographic display flickered as power fluctuated throughout the ship. Resources were stretched thin. Station Omega, we're detecting movement in the Voxeri fleet, reported June tensely. They're shifting formation. Dr. Park's eyes widened. They always do this before an attack. Commander, they're not honoring the 2-hour window. Taiwan's face hardened. Typical. Battle stations. Prepare to engage. Wait. Mireille called out, her fingers still moving across her console. I need maybe 20 more minutes. The composition is nearly complete. Taiwan looked torn. Every instinct told him to fight, to go down swinging as a warrior should. But hadn't that approach failed for 15 years? Lieutenant, coordinate with our remaining ships. Defensive positions only, he ordered. Buy us those 20 minutes. Sir, if we don't strike first. That's an order, Lieutenant, Taiwan said firmly. We've tried fighting. Let's try something new. On the main view screen, the Voxeri fleet's movement continued, hundreds of ships performing a complex, synchronized dance through space. It was almost beautiful, in a cold, mathematical way. Dr. Park was analyzing the patterns, her expression intense. Mayray, do you see it? Their formation changes. They're following a specific harmonic sequence. Incorporate that pattern. Mayray nodded, her fingers flying across her station. I see it now. It's like they're singing to each other. Exactly. Their battle formations are musical compositions themselves, Dr. Park said with growing excitement. We've been fighting an enemy that communicates through symphony. As Mayray worked, integrating this new understanding into her composition, Commander Taiwan stared at the approaching enemy fleet. For the first time, he didn't see just death and destruction approaching. He saw beings following patterns he had never understood. 15 years, he murmured. 15 years of war, because we couldn't hear their music, and they couldn't understand ours. The lights in the command center dimmed as power was diverted to the shields. Around them, the last defenders of Earth prepared for what might be their final battle. Or perhaps, if Dr. Park and Myray were right, the first moment of true contact between two species that had never really communicated. Time was running out. The Voxeri fleet continued its advance, moving with mathematical precision that seemed both beautiful and terrifying. On the command deck of Earth's last battleship, tension built with each passing moment. "Shields at maximum," reported Lieutenant Dajung. "All weapons systems online." Commander Taiwan nodded grimly, but his eyes were on Myray, who sat hunched over her console, fingers moving with incredible speed. Beside her workstation, the holographic image of Dr. Park offered guidance and encouragement. "I've integrated the formation patterns," Myray said, not looking up, "and the human elements are balanced throughout the composition. But we need a way to broadcast this with enough power to reach their entire fleet." Tae-Won turned to his communications officer. "Hejun, can we repurpose our main communication array?" Hejun shook his head. "Not powerful enough, sir. We'd only reach the nearest ships." "What about the planetary defense grid?" suggested Dr. Park from Research Station Omega. "If we route our signal through Earth's remaining satellite network." "That might work," Hejun said, growing excited. The defense grid was designed to blanket large areas of space with targeting data. We could repurpose it to broadcast sound patterns instead. "Do it," ordered Taiwan. As officers rushed to make the necessary adjustments, Mira continued refining her composition. It had evolved into something truly unique, alien mathematical sequences intertwined with distinctly human elements. The melody followed rigorous Voxeri patterns, while incorporating emotional resonances no Voxeri would create naturally. 5 minutes until they're in firing range," announced Dajung, his voice tense. Myray looked up, her eyes tired but determined. "I need to record one final element, a human voice, to serve as the central thread through the composition." She turned to Commander Taiwan. "Sir, it should be you. You've led us through this war. Your voice should represent humanity." Tae-Won blinked in surprise. "I'm no singer, Ensign." Myray shook her head. "It doesn't need to be singing. Just speak from your heart, about why we fight, why we want peace. I'll integrate it into the harmonic patterns." Dr. Park nodded in agreement. "The emotional resonance is crucial. Commander, this may be the most important speech of your life." Taiwan hesitated, then straightened his uniform and stepped toward Myray's station. She activated a recording function and nodded to him. Taking a deep breath, Taiwan began to speak, his voice low and resonant. "For 15 years, we have fought against extinction. Not because we love war, but because we love life. We fight for our children, for our world, for our right to exist among the stars. But we don't want only to survive. We want to live in peace. To build, not destroy. To explore, not conquer." As he spoke, Mayray's fingers danced across her console, weaving his words into the alien mathematical patterns. The composition began to transform, gaining depth and resonance. "We are different from you," Taiwan continued. "We experience the universe through different senses. Our songs may sound chaotic to you, just as yours seem cold to us. But beneath those differences, we share the same cosmos. The same stars shine on all of us." On the main view screen, the Voxeri fleet continued its advance, now just minutes from attack range. "If you can hear us, truly hear us, you will understand that our differences need not make us enemies. Listen to our song. Feel what we feel, and let us hear you in return." Myray's hands finally stilled. "It's ready," she whispered. The command center fell silent. On the view screen, the massive Voxeri fleet loomed ever closer. "Broadcast on all frequencies," ordered Taiwan quietly. "Full power." Hejun's fingers flew across his station. "Broadcasting now, sir." Signal routed through Earth's defense grid. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The Voxeri fleet maintained its inexorable approach. Seconds stretched into a minute. No response, said Daejung tensely. They'll be in firing range in 30 seconds. Myrae stared at her console, watching the waveforms of her composition propagate through space. Give it time, she pleaded. They need to process it, understand it. 20 seconds to weapons range, reported an officer. Dr. Park's hologram leaned forward, studying the readings from her station. Wait, I'm detecting changes in their communication patterns. On the view screen, the movement of the Voxeri fleet began to alter, subtly at first, then more dramatically. Ships that had been advancing in perfect formation began to shift positions. 10 seconds to weapons range, said Daejung. They're responding, exclaimed Dr. Park. Their ships are generating harmonics that complement our broadcast. The command center erupted in confused murmurs as the Voxeri fleet's movement continued to change. Instead of the attack formation they had seen countless times before, the alien ships were arranging themselves in a new pattern, one that echoed elements of Myrae's composition. 5 seconds, Daejung counted down, his hand hovering over the weapons controls. Wait, ordered Ta-1, his eyes fixed on the screen. The lead Voxeri ships, massive destroyers that had laid waste to countless human worlds, slowed their approach. Then, as one, the entire alien fleet came to a complete stop, hovering just at the edge of weapons range. They've stopped, whispered Ho-jun in disbelief. Myrae's composition continued to broadcast across all frequencies, human emotion and alien mathematics intertwined in harmony. And then something unprecedented happened. The Voxeri fleet began to respond with its own composition, a complex pattern of vibrations that their sensors could detect rippling through space. Myrae's eyes widened as she analyzed the pattern. They're answering us, incorporating our themes into their own musical language. Dr. Park was rapidly analyzing the data. It's a response, not an attack pattern, something entirely new. They're attempting to communicate. For the first time in 15 years of brutal war, humans and Voxari were exchanging something other than weapons fire. As Myrae's composition reached its crescendo, the alien response grew more complex, more nuanced. Incoming transmission, announced Ho-jun suddenly. Commander Ta-1 took a deep breath. On screen, the face of the Voxeri commander appeared once more. But now, instead of the flat, emotionless demeanor they had always shown, its skin rippled with new colors, patterns they had never seen before. "We hear you," said the alien, its translator struggling with concepts it had never been programmed to express. "Your song, strange, but we understand." The command center fell completely silent. Myrae felt tears sliding down her face as the realization dawned. Her music had succeeded where 15 years of warfare had failed. The first notes of peace had been played. Now they needed to compose the rest of the symphony together. The Voxeri commander's image dominated the view screen, its iridescent skin shifting through colors the human eyes had never seen displayed in their communications before. The translator struggled to keep pace as the alien spoke. "Your vibrations contain patterns we recognize, but also elements we do not. This is new experience." Commander Ta-1 stepped forward, keeping his voice steady despite the hope threatening to overwhelm him. "We have been trying to communicate with you for years. This is the first time you seem to hear us." The alien's skin rippled. "Your previous communications lacked mathematical consistency. They were noise. This transmission follows understandable patterns." Myrae leaned toward her console. "They've been hearing our words but not our meaning," she whispered to Dr. Park's hologram. The emotional content was incomprehensible to them. Dr. Park nodded excitedly. "And now we've translated those emotions into mathematical patterns they can process." The Voxeri commander continued. "We observed your species for many cycles before first contact. Your vibrations were discordant, threatening to cosmic harmony." "Not threatening," Ta-1 countered gently, "just different. Our emotions, our passion, our creativity, our love. They don't follow strict mathematical rules. That's what makes us human. Myre's console beeped with an incoming data stream. They're sending us something, she said, quickly analyzing it. It's their own composition, a response to ours. She routed the alien transmission through her station, transforming it into sound that human ears could comprehend. What emerged was hauntingly beautiful, pure mathematical progressions that somehow conveyed alien concepts no human had ever understood before. As the composition played throughout the command center, officers stood transfixed. For the first time, they were experiencing Voxeri thoughts directly, unfiltered by imperfect translation algorithms. It's their story, Myre said softly. Their journey through space, their encounters with other species, their confusion upon meeting us. The Voxeri commander watched their reactions with what might have been curiosity. You respond emotionally to mathematical truth. This is unexpected. Dr. Park leaned forward in her holographic projection. That's because music speaks to both our rational and emotional minds. It bridges logic and feeling. For us, mathematics can be beautiful, not just functional. The alien skin shifted to a deep blue tone. Concept of beauty, difficult. We seek harmony, balance, correct patterns. Beauty is harmony that touches the soul, Myre offered. It makes us feel something beyond the notes themselves. Lieutenant Dajung, who had been silent throughout this exchange, suddenly spoke up. How do we know this isn't a trick? 15 years of war, and suddenly they understand us because of a song. The Voxeri commander's skin rippled in response to Dajung's hostile tone. No deception. Your new vibration pattern creates resonance we did not anticipate. Questions arise. Why eliminate a species that creates such interesting patterns? Tae-Won felt a smile forming. The first real smile in years. That's a start. Commander, Hajun called out, we're receiving transmissions from all across the fleet. Every Voxeri ship is broadcasting variations of the same harmonic response. Dr. Park's hologram flickered with excitement. It's spreading through their fleet. The composition is affecting not just their commander, but all of them. Myre was already analyzing the incoming data streams. They're each adding their own elements to the response. It's like they're voting or discussing, but through music rather than words. The Voxeri commander's next statement confirmed her theory. Consensus forming. Your species produces unexpected harmonies. Extermination may be. Incorrect approach. The command center erupted in muted exclamations and whispers. After 15 years of losses, of watching colonies fall and billions die, the word incorrect felt like an impossible victory. What happens now? Asked Tae-Won cautiously. Exchange of harmonics, replied the Voxeri. Learning your patterns. Teaching ours. Seeking. New combined harmony. Peace, said Tae-Won. We call it peace. Peace, repeated the alien, the word sounding strange through the translator. Concept requires study. Myre was already working at her console again, fingers flying across the controls. I'm creating a response to their composition, incorporating their themes while adding new human elements. A conversation through music, murmured Dr. Park. The first real dialogue between our species. As Myre worked, the tension that had gripped the command center for so long began to ease. Officers who had known nothing but war for years watched in amazement as the Voxeri fleet reorganized itself, moving from battle formation into something new, a pattern that somehow seemed less threatening. They're moving their ships, reported Dajung, still suspicious, maintaining distance but changing configuration. Dr. Park analyzed the movement. It's not an attack pattern. I believe they're arranging their fleet to better broadcast and receive these harmonic exchanges. The Voxeri commander confirmed this. Optimizing resonance pattern. Your primitive vessels cannot achieve proper formation for clear transmission. We compensate. Tae-Won almost laughed at the subtle insult hidden in the alien's matter-of-fact statement. Even as they reached understanding, the Voxeri clearly considered human technology inferior. Some things would take time to change. "Myray," he said quietly, "keep the conversation going. Dr. Park, analyze everything they send us. I want to understand what they're really saying beneath the mathematics." As Myray's new composition began broadcasting to the alien fleet, Ta-1 allowed himself to contemplate something he hadn't dared think about in years, a future where humanity wasn't fighting for mere survival. The war hadn't ended yet. There would be hard negotiations ahead, trust to rebuild, wounds that might never fully heal. But for the first time since the Voxeri arrived in human space, there was something new in the void between their fleets. Not silence, not the thunder of weapons. Music. The Voxeri turned toward Juan, colors shifting to deeper blues, seeking harmonic expansion. "Your systems had unique sound properties, cosmic harmonies here, different from our home systems, valuable for evolution of our understanding. You came here too, listen to our part of space?" Juan asked, surprised. "Correct. Universe sings, different regions, different songs. Your sector contains unusual patterns. We collect these patterns." Dr. Yun leaned forward eagerly. "You're cosmic musicians, explorers seeking new sounds rather than new lands. Simple but acceptable idea. Space without harmonic value, meaningless to possess." Mi's fingers hovered over her control panel. "Then why attack us? Why 15 years of war?" The Voxeri's colors darkened. "Your response to our arrival, chaotic, disharmonious, threatened cosmic balance. Attempted communication failed. Protocol says sources of disharmony must be fixed or removed. Because you couldn't understand our emotions," Juan said quietly, "you thought we were a threat to some cosmic order." "Correct. Now understand. Your disharmony contains its own form of order. Complex, unpredictable, but valid pattern." Mi turned back to her control panel, inspired by this revelation. "Let me show you something else." Her fingers moved swiftly, creating a new music that began with seeming chaos, clashing notes and rhythms that gradually, subtly, revealed an underlying pattern of breathtaking beauty. The Voxeri remained completely still as the music played, its skin cycling through colors so rapidly that it appeared almost white at times. When the music ended, it was silent for several moments before responding. "This changes understanding. Disorder containing hidden order. Idea. Revolutionary." Dr. Yun smiled. "That's how human emotions work. They seem chaotic on the surface, but they follow deeper patterns, not math ones, but patterns of meaning and connection." Navigator Tool turned to Commander Juan. "Request permission to transmit this music to fleet. All must experience this revelation." "Permission granted," Juan said. "Share it with your entire fleet." The Voxeri bent its upper body in that now familiar gesture. "Gratitude. This will accelerate understanding." As the alien used a small device to transmit Mi's newest composition to the Voxeri fleet, Juan stepped closer to Dr. Yun. "Do you think this is real?" he whispered. "After all this time, all this death, could it really end with a song?" Dr. Yun watched the Voxeri with a mix of hope and caution. "The math patterns don't lie, Commander. They truly are responding to the music in ways they never responded to our words or actions. Whether that's enough to end 15 years of war," she shook her head, "that remains to be seen." Outside the viewing windows, the Voxeri fleet shifted formation once again. The massive ships moved in graceful arcs, forming intricate patterns in space. As Mi's composition spread from ship to ship, the formation became more complex, more beautiful. "They're dancing," Mi said softly. "Their ships are dancing to my music." Navigator Tull's colors shifted to a gentle purple hue that they had never seen before. "Not dancing, resonating, integrating new, harmonic understanding, learning your chaos order." Dr. Yun's eyes widened. Are all Voxuri experiencing this revelation at once? A kind of species-wide epiphany? Correct. All connect through harmonic network. When one learns, all learn. When all learn, protocols change. Juan stepped forward. What protocols are changing? The Voxuri's colors cycled slowly through several shades before settling on a vibrant gold. Protocol 4. Species classification. Humans now categorized as harmonic anomalies, not harmonic threats. Military action. Suspended. The room went completely silent. Juan struggled to maintain his composure. Suspended. You mean the war is over? War concept. Imprecise. Harmonic correction operation. Recalibrated. New approach required. Collaboration, not elimination. Learn chaos order. Study human harmony-disharmony paradox. Mead dropped into her chair, suddenly overwhelmed. Tears streamed down her face. It worked, she whispered. It actually worked. Dr. Yun placed a gentle hand on Mi's shoulder. You did it. Your music built a bridge they could cross. The day after the music played was the most amazing day in human history. As the song kept playing, more Vrax ships broke free from the black things controlling them. The Vrax called these bad things the Silence, strange beings that ate creative energy by stopping it in other living things. On the Harmony's bridge, Ta worked with the Vrax leader, Ril. They planned how to fight the ships still under the Silence's control. The Silence came to our world 100 years ago, Ril said in a low voice. They eat creative power. They feed on stopped art and music. They hate true music. It pushes them out of the bodies they control. Now I see why they wanted to kill all humans, Ta said. We make music naturally. Just by being alive, we scare them. Human and free Vrax ships made a circle around the few ships still controlled by the Silence. All together, they played the special music at these ships. This forced the black things to leave their Vrax hosts. When they left, everyone saw what the Silence really looked like. Dark black clouds that ate light and sound. Without bodies to live in, they were weak. The joined fleet chased them far away from the solar system. When the fight was over, humans and Vrax met on Earth, in New Sol, the city that was almost destroyed. Ril and other Vrax sang a sad, beautiful song to say sorry for all the harm they caused while controlled. Humans answered with their own music. They played old songs, jazz, and music from all over Earth. The Vrax moved happily, their skin making bright patterns of light. Key worked hard with Vrax scientists. They studied the black parasites and made ways to stop future attacks. Dr. Min helped Vrax who still felt sick from being controlled for so long. Te became something he never expected, a peacemaker between the two kinds. He understood both fighting and music, which made him perfect for bringing humans and Vrax together. Our people should have met as friends, not enemies, Ril said as they watched humans and Vrax fixing a broken part of the city. In a better world, we would have shared our art first. Maybe that better world starts right now, Ta said. That night, they had a big concert in the broken main square of New Sol. Human and Vrax musicians played together, making something completely new, music that belonged to both kinds. As Tai played his wooden flute next to a Vrax making sound with light, he felt something he had not felt since the war started. Peace. Real peace at last. 5 years after the big music event that freed the Vrax, now called the Freedom Song, Earth and the Vrax home planet opened the first center for both species in New Sol. Tai was now a top leader, but he worked as a friend maker between the two kinds. He watched happily as human and Vrax artists made music together on the big stage. People from both worlds clapped loud, and the Vrax's skin lit up with joy. Things sure are different now from when we first met, said a voice Ta knew well. Tay turned and saw Key, who now taught about alien music at New Sol School. I still remember how scared we were, trying to find any way to beat the Vrax. But we found what made them strong instead, Key said. They love music just like we do. They watched a small human girl and a young Vrax practice a song together. The girl sang while the Vrax made sounds with its glowing skin. Dr. Min came to them with papers in her hands. We found bad news about the silence. We see signs they are in 3 other star systems. Our warning system is ready, Ta told her. Any world the silence tries to take over will get our special music right away. Music is medicine, Key said with a smile. Who would have guessed? After the big event, Ta walked in the memory garden that honored those who died in the war. Stone statues stood for human towns that were destroyed. Crystal sound makers remembered Vrax who died while the silence controlled them. In the middle was a big statue for both kinds, a huge music maker played by the wind from the sun. It made ever-changing songs that showed how strong both peoples were. Rill found Ta there. The Vrax leader's skin glowed softly in the evening light. The silence thought making art was weak, Rill said. They thought it made people easy to beat. They were wrong, Ta said, touching his old wooden flute that now hung from his neck as a sign of his job. Making things was our biggest strength. The whole universe makes music, Rill agreed. We just had to learn how to hear it again. As it got dark, lights turned on around the big wind-played statue. Its music moved across the rebuilt city, always reminding everyone of what they lost and what they gained. Ta couldn't win the war with guns and ships, but he ended it with a song, and by doing that, he made something much better than just winning. He made peace between worlds.